Welcome to Subaru Ecu Flash Training Part 12. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at working with our mass airflow closed-loop style fuel calibration tuning techniques. There's going to be a whole bunch of things we're going to cover specific to doing mass airflow style tuning. So if you're running a standardized Subaru ROM or an enhanced carbureting ROM that's going to be mass airflow based, this video is going to be especially important so that you understand how to sort out what to change, whether it's going to be in the mass airflow actual calibration curve or our injector scalar data. There's going to be some things we need to look at, some markers. We're going to do some live demonstration of actually how to do that on a vehicle here in real time. We're going to have a lot to cover. Let's jump in so we can check out how to work with doing our mass airflow closed loop tuning.
Okay, so let's get started. We're going to be taking a look at doing closed loop style tuning with a mass airflow based calibration file. Now we know that Subaru has intended the effector ECU to run in a mass airflow style mode. We know with a carbureting ROM, we can run speed density or mass airflow. So this particular example that we're going through, I'm going to just do a quick live demo while I'm sitting in the car of how to go about dealing with tuning your MAF curve or with your MAF style calibration, what details you need to pay attention to and what you need to actually change. The process is relatively simple. A lot of people get caught up with going in and changing the actual MAF curve, which starts to throw off a lot of important details associated with our load registration. So for example, our spark timing table is in units of grams per rev. If you start to scale your MAF curve the one way or another, the wrong way, because let's say you have bad injector data, that'll start to influence what your spark timing is doing. We don't want to do that. So generally speaking, we want to go and either leave the MAF curve completely alone if it's a stock size MAF housing, or do a rescale based on the difference between stock to the aftermarket intake or MAF housing size and leave it alone after that, and then go after some other important details to actually scale out our fuel delivery for idle and part throttle cruise style driving. Now we're gonna have a separate video taking a look at open loop style MAF tuning because going about tuning that is a slightly different manner, and we need to take a look at some slightly different parameters. Now, what we're going to do here first is just go through the calibration file that I have for this particular vehicle that I'm working with here for the live demo. It's a 2003 WRX. We have 850cc DW injectors. Now, I've prepped this carbureting-based ROM that is a MAF load-based ROM so that we have a lot of the details taken care of for us already. Some of the things I want to go and just illustrate real quick, we'll just go from top to bottom here in the file. Things like our boost control. I've went in and I've essentially zeroed out the boost control. So we're running off of wastegate spring and wastegate actuator level, maybe 8-10 pounds, just so that we can run the lowest boost possible so we don't have to worry about potentially getting into any kind of over boosting or any kind of odd boost control problems when we're doing our idle and part throttle kind of driving. Now, it really shouldn't affect anything that we're doing. It really is prepping us to go forward into doing open loop, wide open throttle style fuel tuning with a MAF that we'll be taking a look at in the next video, but just all in the same, I've prepped this file here just to get ready. So let's just quickly go through this. So I've done the boost control, I've done some things with the ignition timing so that it's safe, you don't have to worry about it. And then I've also went in and scaled everything for the fuel injectors that we have in here using the DW injector data that they provided. Now, these particular injectors, I don't have the data sets in an Excel spreadsheet format. So I've used whatever DW provided. Most likely it's not going to be right. I've had a lot of discrepancies in the DW data when I start to enter it in and start to work with this. So we're gonna look at some very key things to pay attention to in our logging, what we need to look for, and so we know what to change. So let's just quickly go through the file and then we'll run through some of the scaling factors in determining what you need to do with the actual mass airflow curve itself. And then we'll talk about our injector data and what we might need to change and why we might need to change it. Then we'll do some data logs, we'll do some data capture, we'll play back some things in Megalog Viewer HD so we can review the data and know exactly what to look for and know exactly what to change so we know what is proper and what isn't. So this is again getting your vehicle up and running on a mass airflow style calibration, whether it's a stock Subaru ROM or it's going to be a carbureting based ROM that's going to be MAF based. So first thing here, let's go into our boost so we can see in boost control target. I went into the target boost here and I've set my target boost to 10 PSI. Now, I don't know what the exact actuator spring is going to be or the actuator level on this particular turbo. It is aftermarket turbo. I don't really care about that, but I want to just target a lower boost level. So I've set that here to 10 PSI. If I go down here, let's minimize this. I went into the boost control wastegate, the initial wastegate duty cycle. I've zeroed out this table. I don't care what the duty cycle is going to be because I want to run the lowest boost possible, especially doing idle and part throttle driving. Again, this is really preparation for doing full throttle tuning, but for right now, that is zeroed out. Let's go ahead and minimize this. Moving down here a little bit further, we're going to find here, if we move down into our fueling closed loop, open loop transition, into the base pulse width table here. I've set the injector scaler, or the injector pulse width, the actual values in the table here, based on what injector size that I'm working with here. So I've used the Excel spreadsheet calculator, and I can find that right into the training course packet, into the injector rescale carberry. So I've entered in 850 as the new injector, stock is a 420. It renormalized and rescaled what my transition is going to be here for the open to closed loop thresholds. I just simply copied these values and I pasted them into my file based on the new injector size that we're dealing with. So it's little minor details we have to account for. So that was one thing I've updated. Now in the fuel injectors here, if we take a look at the fuel injector flow, I've set this to 850. These injectors are approximately 850 DW injectors. The injector latency here, this is going to be what...
Thanks for checking out our teaser clip. If you want to see the rest of this video and more than 500 hours of current EFI training we have to offer, make sure you click right here. If you want to go and check out more teaser clips from this training course, click here, and you don't want to miss any of the videos we're going to be releasing on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.